Okay, set 63 is on the addition of vectors, and we have been dealing with vectors, but now we're just going to be adding two of them, and we want to take them from vector form and put them into polar coordinates, and then we can easily add them. So if we look here at our first one, if I go ahead and draw my triangle, I'm at 28 and I have 4. So this is my U and my R. Okay, so we have talked about that you can just do 4 times the sine of 28 equals U, and we can do 4 times the cosine of 28 equals R. And so when we do this, let's go to 2 decimal points. So go ahead and we punch that into our calculator, and we get here 1.88 and 3.53. When you're doing this, just a reminder, make sure that your calculator is in degrees, not in radians. Okay, so if we look here at our next one, it's 10 at 35. So 10 at 35. So we have U, we have R, so we're going to follow the same. 10 times the sine of 35 equals U, because remember, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So, TOA. Okay, and then we're going to do 10 times the cosine of 35 equals R. So if we punch that into our calculator and round to two decimal places, we get 5.74 and 8.19. Okay, so I'm going to write them both in polar form. And so remember, in polar form, you're going to do your something R plus your something U. So we have 3.53R plus 1.88U. Now both of these two numbers are positive, okay, and so that's why I have my plus, and they're both positive there. So then my next one is 8.19R plus, because it's positive, 5.74U. And now I can just treat it like a big addition problem. When we add those, I get 11.72R plus 7.62U. And so there's my answer for my addition of vectors. And I think that we can leave it in our polar form, and we don't have to convert it back. Okay, so let's look at a word problem with this. It says flying arrow left the village and traveled 20 miles on a heading of 20 degrees. So 20 miles on a heading of 20 degrees. Okay, from that point he went 40 miles on a heading of a 210. So 210 is from that axis all the way down. Okay, 40 miles. So we have 180 above this line. So 210 minus 180, that puts this angle at 30. So I'm just going to redraw that triangle with the 30, a 40, and then we have our R and our U. Okay, so we can set this up with our 20 times the cosine of 20 gives us our R, and 20 times the sine of 20 equals U. Now, if you're not sure where the cosine and the sine are still coming from after doing these polar coordinates and vector coordinates, stop, ask me, let me know what you have questions on, okay? And so we punch those into our calculators and we get 6.84 and 18, oops, nope, I have those backwards. We get 18.79 and 6.84. Now in this one, we notice we can still use our sine and our cosine to get us the correct math for that. And then we just need to keep in mind that these are going this direction, and so we are going to make them negatives when we get to there. And that gives us a U. And so here we end up with a negative 34.64 because it was a positive, but then I have to remember that I'm going to the left, so I need to make it negative. And here I get a 20, but I need to make it negative because I'm going down. Okay, so I'm going to write them both into my polar coordinates. So I have 18.79R plus 6.84U for my first one. And my second one is going to be negative 34.64R minus 20U. Big addition problem here. And we end up with negative 15.84R Oh, 8485. Okay, and then it's a negative 13.16 U. So we'll leave our answer like that. Okay, so let's look here at our last one. We have 20 at 45 degrees. So our U and our R. So we can say 20 times the cosine of 45 is our R, and 20 times the sine of 45 is our U. So if we get those in, and actually with 45, and you'll learn about this like when you talk about unit circles, and the 45 is the nice angle. These are the same here, 14.14. Okay, then our next one here is that 210 degrees again. So I'm just going to draw my coordinate, go around, and I'm out. That's 180 at this portion, and so then that leaves me with 30 and a 10. So we have our U and our R. Okay, so we can say our 10 times the cosine of 30 is our R, and 10 times the sine of 30 is our U. So our U ends up being 5, but remember we are going down, so we're going to make that negative. And our R ends up being 8.66, but remember we are going to the left, so we're going to make that negative. So let's go ahead and write these down into our form. So 14, 14 R plus 14, 14 U. Those are both positives. And then we're going to do our negative 8.66 R and our negative 5 U, because those are going to the left and down. So if we add both of those, we are going to end up with our 5.48 R plus 9.14 U. All right. If we look here at our last problem, I'm going to let you try the workout on your own. I'm just going to give you the answer so you can see how you do with it. So we get negative 34.64 R minus 20 U. Let me know if you don't get that, and I can help fill in the work from here to there.